exactly.
You know what I just heard too? You know, people. I don't know if you guys do it. These cold baths.
I do it every morning.
I used to do
every morning.
I used to do the liquid nitrogen.
So someone was saying that
morning.
it's actually, people say it's good for you, but someone was saying that it's actually not good for you because when you're in a state of freezing cold, your body goes into this mode of survival, and I guess your endorphins are heightened. So instead of actually saying it feels better, it says your body's actually rushing to age faster because you're in survival mode.
Well, it actually repairs your muscles, cold therapy, right? Liquid nitrogen. I've done the cryotherapy. It's very, very good for you. I would go to the gym, go there, and the next day I would feel, I would feel much more revived. And the repair of the muscle is important. I just got a infrared sauna in my house installed. The best thing. I'm using it twice a day. Yeah. I'm in there for an hour, 150 degrees, infrared. It gets to about 150. I put the music on, and let me tell you something. I sweat. It relieves all the toxins. I sleep like a baby.
They actually say
15
minutes in an infrared sauna is equal to an hour of yoga.
Really?
So what's an infrared sauna?
And I don't do yoga.
What's an infrared sauna compared to a
It
sauna?
heats you on a cellular level.
Yeah.
So basically, the other sauna is just one of those heaters
with the coals.
With the coals.
Yeah.
This one, it's a light.
Oh.
And the light heats you on a cellular level.
And then there's heaters all around. Like I have one on my feet. I got one on my legs, all around my body.
They do
I
lights,
actually close the
different
door. I
colors.
bring my iPad in there, and I'll sit there. I have put a timer on. I set it on 150, and I come out, and I'm glazed, man. But I feel good. Then about 10 minutes later, I'll go and jump in the shower, clean up, and sleep like a baby.
Good to go.
And I also
it's funny that you
muscle
said
repair too.
the cold therapy too, because I do that every single morning.
Same type of.
I do it every single morning, and what I feel is that you're right. It releases all of this
Toxins,
these endorphins in your body, and it releases like dopamine. You get a
and
huge,
reduces cortisol,
and it's the same, and it helps reduce that. It helps reduce your stress. It helps blood flow. It helps your circulation. It helps your metabolism. It helps, and when you get out, it's almost like you just did like 3 shots of espresso.
It is. Yeah.
You feel like when I get out every morning, I'm like, whoa! Like you're
you go to a place that has
I do cold showers every morning. It's cold
showers,
as cold as it gets.
Yeah.
They
and
say
here in
to
New York,
go from the sauna to the cold shower.
Cold, okay? Like
They
it's
say
cold.
when I used to go to Lifetime Athletic Club right here in Garden City, and they had steam and hot sauna. I would do the sauna for 25, 30 minutes. That sauna's at 180, 200 degrees. You're sitting there sweating, then I jump into a cold shower, and you kind of lock it in. They tell you to go from the sauna to the shower, back to the sauna, and it kind of just,
it's
really
wild.
good for you. It's really
But
good.
but you had said like it kind of puts your body into survival mode, where
Yes.
it jump starts your body, and your body just starts just kicking into high gear.
And fasting too is very important.
Great.
Like I try to fast every day, 16 hours.
Yeah, I can't
That's
do
very
that.
important for your body.
I need food.
Yeah, but once you but once you get into that mode, when you fast and you're not eating, you're so mentally focused. It's incredible. Like try it. Like if you could do a 20-hour fast, which is really not that much, as people are doing 2-3 day fasts. I never did that, but I've done 20-hour, 23 hours. Normally every day I do 16.
How often do you do it every
I do
day?
it almost every day. I do a minimum of 12 to 14. That's like minimum. But sometimes I'll train. I'll go to the gym.
I was just going to ask you, how does it
train on fasting? Oh man,
how does it help with like muscle growth though?
Crazy, because it releases your HGH, your hormone. So what happens is your body, when you're fasting, you're not only you're killing your body is eating all because it needs energy, right? So it's feeding off all those cells that your body would normally hold, and it's feeding off that for energy. And it's not tapping into your protein, it's tapping into the sugar into your body. So by fasting, that's why fasting's been around for thousands of years. I mean, people fasted for thousands before Christ. And it's a very healthy method to lose weight.
I might have to try it.
For your for your insulin resistance. If people have diabetes, if they start fasting, it's proven. They don't tell you this.
Is called breakfast.
Breakfast means break fast.
Well, that's where a lot of times if you eat, because that's why they always say that breakfast is like the most important meal of the day, and I would tell people this all the time that people are trying. I had a friend of my wife's that was trying to. He's like, I can't. Like, I'm trying to gain some weight. He was what they call I think it's called an endomorph. I think there's endomorph, ectomorph, and mesomorph. I forgot what it is. One, it's like very, very hard to gain weight. One is very, very hard to like lose
Metabolism,
weight. And he was on the end where he's like just skin and bones. He's like, I can't gain weight. I was like, listen, your breakfast is like the most important meal. I said, if you're trying to really gain weight, I said, because think about it. You have dinner at, let's say it's 7 o'clock. Okay, that's the last time you eat. Now you go to sleep, right? Let's say you go to sleep at 10. And then you wake up at 8. And then you have breakfast at 10. I said, the last time you ate was 7. I said, now it's 15 hours later. That is a 15-hour fast.
That's a great fast. That's actually very, very helpful.
I said, that's a 15-hour fast. I said, so that meal that your body is aching, like, give me something. I'm burning off I need some food. I said, you got it. You can't wait. I was like, if you wait, then your body's going to keep burning off of all that stuff that you
try to train. The key is to go, like, I'll try to time it. When I get up in the morning, I won't eat. My fiance says, you want me to make your breakfast? I said, no. I just drink water with lemon, or I'll do a shot. I'll take a half a lemon, I squeeze it, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I put a little cayenne pepper. I down that, go to the gym, and I'm feeling like a savage beast. And when I come out of the gym, I'm not even that hungry because I'm drinking a lot of water. Remember, water, there's no calories in water, right? But when you eat that first meal of the day, it's so important to eat something with fat, protein, carbs.
Good. Yes,
you got to balance. You can't just eat all one.
Your body's going to suck it up like a sponge.
They tell you to eat berries in the morning. The first thing that should enter your body is a blueberry, blackberry, strawberry, or raspberry, all right? Because that puts all the antioxidants. Once you put the berries in, then you should feed your body with protein. A hard-boiled egg is probably the most healthiest food on the earth.
All right, I'm on the right track.
3 or 4 hard-boiled eggs. And ironically, I drink a lot of water, but they tell you to drink warm water.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy, but warm water. I know it's hard to do because I drink. As soon as I get up in the morning, I guzzle my water. It's the first thing I put in my body. But the warm water, the reason why is because your body now doesn't have to work to heat up that water. So everything flows through your body, and it starts off your day. So the rest of the day, if you fuck up, it's all right because you already started your day off with that.
So I start my day with a protein smoothie, and it's frozen berries. I put like spinach, protein powder.
But what time? But how long are you fasting before you start that?
So I'll do that if I go. I usually go. My wife's pregnant now, so I usually be able to go to the gym at 5:30, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Down that. And I would
dairy? Any dairy in that? No dairy.
It would be. It would be a scoop of Greek yogurt, frozen berries, spinach, banana, protein powder, peanut butter.
So you got potassium, protein.
You got it all.
You got antioxidants, and then you got the probiotics, which.
And I wouldn't eat till like 12 o'clock or so, or 1 o'clock for lunch. So
that's good. So you're eating healthy.
Yeah,
you're also thin. Look at you.
I try.
It's funny. It's funny.
My metabolism's gonna fade out.
How much you weigh?
I weigh like 210.
I was your weight in kindergarten. I'm 320 pounds. I was his weight in first grade, I think. When I was in first grade, I was 20.
It's interesting because I like...
Once I hit 200, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm 200 pounds.
You don't look 210.
No, he doesn't. You look at $190.
I would say 190.
Yeah,
I'm like you're thin too.
Well, we call him the German missile.
You're 230.
Yeah, I'm like 230.
But you guys are also really tall.
But he's also tall, but he's also got
you're
muscle mass
6'2",
on
and you're...
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, but he's got muscle mass on it too. He's toned. You both of them are toned. So muscle weighs a lot heavier than fat. Remember?
Okay.
So the muscle, like I weighed I'm 320 pounds.
Wow.
And my fat body index is only like 16%, which is pretty low for a male because it's all muscle. I'm trying to lose that. So the only way for me to technically lose weight, I got to lose some muscle. And it's hard to do because I'm working out.
Yeah.
That's the thing where for me is I'm trying to put on more weight. Like I'm trying to get up to like the 240
your metabolism is just burning like a freaking
so
furnace.
I can't fast. I'm eating every 2 to 3 hours.
But you're spiking your insulin. Right? Every time you eat, you spike your insulin.
And why do you want to put? You want to put on?
I want to.
He wants to bulk out. He wants to get big. But the problem is everybody has a different body type. Right?
Yeah.
We all have different body types. Joe, me, you. We all have. So it depends on your body type is how to gain muscle. Right? And also, you guys, I mean, you're young, so your testosterone levels are good. I believe in TRT, which I take personally. I've been doing it for about 6 years now. You know, testosterone replacement therapy. And I do it doctor supervised. And now I start doing the patch. I rub like a gel on my shoulders every day. I used to take the injections. But what happens is you have to worry about your hemoglobin, your blood count goes a little high. So you got to be careful with that. So you really got to stay on top of it with the doctor and go. But you guys, if you really want to put on mass, little testosterone, because remember, once you hit 30, your T's start going down.
That's why I smoke cigars.
Smoke cigars,
How many cigars do you think?
You need a lot. I would say just take a little testosterone.
You know what's actually funny is like there's plenty of times where I'll go out in the afternoon. It's like 3 o'clock, and I'm like, you know what? It's a nice day, or I'm kind of feeling so. I'm gonna go outside. I'll have a cup of coffee. I'll have a cigar, and I'll be in our little. We converted my pool house to a studio.
We want you guys having the studio, but we don't have enough room for 3 people.
Yeah.
Only 2 people. So that's why we're here.
So I'll smoke a cigar, right? And then right after I smoke a cigar, it'll be 5 o'clock, and go, all right, I'm gonna go in the gym. And people always ask, like, does that like hurt your, like, does that hinder your performance? I go, no, absolutely not. Like, I've been smoking cigars like, for the last decade, and it hasn't hurt my performance in the gym whatsoever. I was like, if anything, it helps. It helps. Because I go in the gym, I haven't lost any strength. Like, it's just, and they go, really? I said, yeah, well, one, you don't inhale cigars. I'm not hurting my lungs. I was like, but.
Smoking outside, too.
Yeah.
So you ventilate. But I never did. I always work out first. I'll eat fasted. Then I'll eat my breakfast, and then I'll have a cigar. It's like just a routine,
Love it.
So speaking, Joe, you look like you lost a couple lbs. You working out?
I got you guys all beat. You guys are talking about workouts, fasting, this, that.
You look a little thinner last time.
Let me tell you guys.
Listen, you look good, man. I said it when you came in. You look good.
I got a magic drug. It's called Manjaro. Okay, I inject myself once a week. I lost 114 pounds since May.
Wow.
But
You
the only
look
problem with
great,
that is,
man.
thank you.
It's like
It's like an Ozempic.
Yeah,
But
'cause
I was diagnosed pre-diabetic, not diabetic, but pre-diabetic. So they prescribed me Manjaro.
So hold on, I'm dumb. So what's a pre-diabetic and a diabetic?
Well, diabetic is that you have diabetic. Pre-diabetic that you might have it.
You're on
You're
your way.
on your way to get it.
Okay.
So before that happens, he put me on this shot, and let me tell you, I gotta say the number. I'm not gonna embarrass myself, but it was an insane number. I lost 114 pounds since May.
God bless you. Good future.
That's fantastic.
And I haven't changed much. It just suppresses your appetite.
That's fantastic.
But
so what's the ultimate goal? What do you want to get down? What do you want to, like, how much do you want to lose?
Me, I would go for another 50 to 60 pounds, and I think I'm good.
So that's going to be like 175 pounds. That is,
and I'm doing it. I'm losing every week.
That's
that's fantastic.
You're young guys.
Because I was going to say, when you came in before, I was like, man, you look good.
Well, I saw you from outside. I took a video. I was like, Big Joe looks like a little bit of Big Joe.
When did we have you in the studio?
December. Well, we had it in October and then December.
It was cold. I know.
It was December, right?
Yeah.
So then since May, now December. So since December, you've probably lost, 30, 40 pounds?
Yeah.
Good for you, man. God bless you. That's
I need a whole new wardrobe.
That is fantastic.
Then when you're ready,
Okay, so
take
all right.
it to the gym.
So that's probably
Yes.
Well, you're getting your close-ups. You're getting your close-ups.
I will say
soon,
that's
so.
what sucks going in either direction. If you're losing a lot of weight or if you're trying to put on some weight, your wardrobe fucking changes.
Oh yeah,
and it sucks.
That's the least of your problem.
I know, but like,
problems. Yeah,
but you got a nice suit that fits. Like, man, this suit fits.
That's
really
my
fits.
problem right
And
now.
then,
I'm going
like,
to get Joe my tailor. He's going to tailor him once you get to your plateau because we don't want to make it now because you might shred another foot. You want those shoots to fit nice.
You look good.
The only problem that I do
everything has to fit.
the problem with the medication is this: it makes you lose weight, it makes you look good. It also makes you lose muscle mass.
It does.
I don't feel as strong as I used to.
It does. It shreds
I
your
don't.
muscle.
I probably can't knock somebody out like I used to. That's why I need Joe around me.
That's why you guys partner.
That's right.
But listen, you
not
can
the
get.
cigar.
But you
Joey
can
says
get
I'm
that
going to
back.
lose weight. He's going to lose weight. I'm
But
going
you
to
know
knock him
what?
out.
You
That's
can.
what he
But you
said.
know what? You can learn to, like, it suppresses your appetite. But then I guarantee that if you come off of it, you just learn.
Oh
to,
yeah,
like,
now
listen,
I'm.
like,
it's also
it's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing too.
It's a mental thing because I always say, like, listen, I'm like, it's you against you. It's a mental thing. Like,
Yeah, but that drug also, what it does, it affects your insulin resistance. So what happens is it makes you curb your appetite. When you come off of it, you have to be strong in your mind. It's all about, and it's a lifestyle change. It's not just because a lot of people do gain the weight back. So these diets that they have, all this shit. Let me tell you something. Most people gain the weight back.
Yeah.
90%.
Yeah, but you know what? But something like you're mentally strong. So if you come off it, you'd be like,
I looked at pictures and
you'd be like, listen,
I wasn't healthy, and
It's not healthy.
you know what you do is like, you keep that picture right there. So like, if eventually, I'm assuming that you'd probably come off it, and you're like, I don't need this anymore. You keep that picture right there. Yeah. And anytime you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go. You look at that picture like, fuck it, I'm not doing that.
Either that, or you spend big bucks on your wardrobe,
like, I don't want to
and you say, I'm not
doing that again.
I'm not spending
those
it.
pants.
It's you against you,
and
and it's like, and it's become a lifestyle now.
It has.
Now it's like a habit.
You're just
because your longevity, your life is important. The longevity of your life. So if you can live another 20 years, that's a long time. Absolutely. Like I have sleep apnea. I wear the CPAP every night. I know it looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, how do you like that over there?
She's used to it. She cleans my machine every night, and I put it on. I look like I'm Darth Vader or something. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I sleep like a fucking baby.
Yeah,
I
sure.
sleep 7-8 hours straight. I don't move. Before I had when I had sleep apnea for years, I used to get up 3-4 times a night, pee, and I'm waking up. Now I used to choke. Let me tell you something. Sleep apnea will add years.
She hits you. Shut the fuck up.
If you straighten out your sleep, it will add years to your life.
Oh, yeah.
It will add years to your life.
Well, health is wealth, like they say. Health is
Yeah,
wealth.
you got to have your wealth because you don't have your health. What good is it? All there is fun. You can't enjoy life because you only live once. After that, we go to the good Lord.
That's it,
right?
Absolutely.
That's
So
it.
let's
So
try to
so we missed you earlier. We were talking about the pairing, and I do want to hear your pairing. But so you were saying that whiskey and cigars. You like Scotch.
I like Scotch and also
cigars.
I like your old
And
fashioned.
right now he's doing opposite. He's doing not opposite, but he's doing bourbon. What is your favorite
Well,
pairing?
like I
man?
have an amaretto sour. I like kind of like a sweetness
Sweet
to my
guy. Okay.
combo there.
Little
Palate,
sweet.
my palate.
So
Which is a great pairing, sweet and sour.
sweet. That's
Sweet
why
and
I
sour.
love.
Yeah.
That's why one my guilty pleasure is dark chocolate.
I like
great
that.
pairing with
the
wine.
sea salt,
And to be
sea
quite
salt.
honest, and dark chocolate is actually good for you. Well,
Very
I don't want to.
healthy. Good for your blood.
I don't want to say it's like good for you because
better
if
for
if
you.
you eat a pound of dark chocolate.
70% cocoa chocolate
like,
is very
yeah.
good for your blood.
If,
your blood.
so my
Circulation.
little thing is I'll get, and I love it cold. I get dark chocolate bars, like
in
the
the fridge?
70% I put it in the fridge.
And a little
And,
espresso.
and what I'll do is like after I have my meal, I eat what I'm supposed to eat,
Wine.
and then I love wine. Don't get me
We got to
started.
do the wine with the
I'll
chocolate.
do I'll do a little. I have a little bar, and it says the serving is 3 pieces, right? I'll have one. I have my 1 piece after my lunch, right? I have the second lunch, 1 piece. I have dinner, 1 piece. That's my thing, and I love the dark. I love the dark
Very
chocolate.
disciplined.
Right?
He's a very
I
disciplined
love the
guy.
dark
Yeah, I was gonna
chocolate.
say, you're very
But I will
disciplined.
say, when you have, if it's an afternoon, right? It's like 3 o'clock. I had the second lunch. Now I'm going into the cigar lounge. If I have a cigar, a cup of coffee, and a little piece of dark chocolate, I don't think there's.
Craves your appetite. It
I
craves
might-
that
that's
little
right.
sweet. Yeah.
It's right up there with sex. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying.
I don't know about that, but
I mean, it
each
doesn't
his own.
beat it. Doesn't beat it, but
my
it's like.
fiance's laughing over there. I'm going to go buy a box of
Right,
chocolate, her dark
maybe,
chocolate.
maybe it's not. Maybe it's
Tres
not.
leche.
Maybe it's not up there with sex, but
She's going to
it's
throw
good.
it away.
Okay. Maybe it's not that good, but
I'm going to be eating the
it's up
chocolate
there.
going, oh, no,
It's
not
good.
tonight,
It's
not
good.
tomorrow.
I don't feel good. I don't feel too good
I'm going to
tonight.
be sitting in the bed like this, eating the chocolate. She's like, fuck that shit. Throw that shit away.
My wife will hear that and be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
think-
fuck the
okay,
chocolate.
watch this." Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
She'll
all
be
right.
giving you milk chocolate.
Or she'll be like, here's the chocolate. I don't feel too good tonight.
No,
Here,
but
take that chocolate.
but the sweetness, right? I used to like Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier with a cigar.
On the rocks, yeah.
So if you get like a full-bodied cigar and you have a little Grand Marnier,
Amaretto. It's nice.
Amaretto,
Love
it's
Yeah,
good.
great pairing.
There's actually a drink that I came across a couple of years ago called The Godfather, which was Scotch and Amaretto.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Sweetens up the scotch.
I'd never heard of it before, and it was at a bar, and I'm like, Scotch and Amaretto. It's like, let me try one of those. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not a big Scotch guy. I'm a bourbon guy. Hence why I
like
drink
bourbon,
Angels.
too.
I love bourbon. I'll drink. I think if I'm drinking alcohol, it's bourbon and cigars. Non-alcohol, it's coffee and
But cigars.
cigars.
I was going to say, I wanted to interrupt you, but coffee and cigars is probably the best
My favorite.
pairing of all.
Hand
And
to God, hand to God,
when
the
I'm in the
best
DR,
pairing.
I'll drink a good cup of black coffee or even a cafe con leche. I'll smoke up
best.
the best pairing of all.
Absolutely.
I had it.
No, hand down.
We were just in Costa Rica for 5 days.
I have a place in Costa Rica.
I had it every single morning. Every coffee, cigars, coffee, cigars.
Love it. And the Costa Rican coffee is delicious.
Oh man,
Those Costa Rican blends are
Best-
serious.
In my
What part of
opinion-
Costa Rica?
Did you go
What are you
fishing or anything in Costa Rica? Good fishing.
No, we went to a golf resort. I golfed
Oh,
every
nice.
day.
Where were you?
Loved it. We were
remember the
at
park? Los Sueños?
no, we were at this place. It was the Westin
Best-
Conchal. So it was on
Concal?
it was
Were you in Jaco Beach?
fuck is the name? I'm gonna Google it because
Los Sueños has a beautiful the Marriott.
because it's an area that is very well known.
What I always tell people,
And we
though,
went to Tamarindo,
Tamarindo, beautiful.
which was great.
Gorgeous. I've been there,
Which
man.
is great.
Nice.
and I always tell people, they're like, really, coffee and cigars? I'm like, well,
Best.
if
The
you
best.
think about it, if you look at the world, right? Look at the equator.
I'm sorry, Guanacaste.
Guanacaste.
Guanacaste. Right on the water,
Right on the
beautiful.
water,
Golfed every day, smoked cigars.
Very nice.
I golfed we got there and we were there for 5 days, and it was like a day and a half, 2 days in, and some of the guys were like, "Justin, did you even smoke? Like, I thought you were the cigar guy. I haven't seen you smoke cigars." I said, "Dude, I've had 10 cigars since we've been here. What the fuck are you talking about?"
Smoke them like
You're
you're
snoozing. I'm smoking
I was like,
cigars.
"What are you doing?" I was like, "This is like number 10. I had 3 on the golf course this
smoking them at
morning."
11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
Costa
Golf
Rica.
and cigars is just so popular.
It definitely makes the.
Sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry. What
No,
was
I
that?
was just going about the what grows together goes together. I always tell people like, because they're always question like cigars and coffee. I thought it'd be like bourbon or whiskey. I'm like, well, if you look at the world, you look at the equator. Cigars are grown around the equator, where it's the warmest spots, where's coffee grown in the same areas.
Colombia.
Bean belt and the tobacco belt.
Bean belt, tobacco belt. So what grows together goes together. And people are always like, oh, that makes so much more
Vitamin
sense.
D, yeah.
It's the best.
And it's interesting
that. What
too is
grows
that
together goes
yeah,
together.
I say it all the time.
And there's a pairing that not a lot of people think that they would pair together, but wine and cigars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure.
I am a huge advocate of wine and cigars,
Yeah.
and I've always said that people that aren't really into cigars, and I'm trying to get them in there, they always ask, like, why do you like cigars so much? I said, well, there's a number of reasons, and I tell them the camaraderie and the stress relief and the relaxation and the conversations that you get. I said, but one of the things, too, is you know how wine is made with one ingredient, made with grapes, right? You can have a Pinot Grigio, it's made with grapes, okay, but they take the skins off, but it's made with grapes. You can have a Cabernet, made with grapes. You can have a Brunello, a Barolo, a Malbec. They're all made with the same ingredient, grapes. They all have different flavors. A Pinot Grigio might have a floral note. You might have a Cabernet has a little bit of chocolate in it. Maybe you'll have a Brunello that has like a little tobacco, or maybe a Pinot Noir might have some raspberry in it. But it's all grapes. They don't inject these flavors. It's just grapes, and they have different flavors depending on the blend. So tobacco is the same way.
Same thing.
It's just tobacco. There's no other, but you might have tobacco from Honduras, which might have a little bit of floral notes in it. Tobacco from Dominican Republic might be earthy or creamier. You might have Nicaraguan, which tends to be spicy, but it's all tobacco.
Yeah.
Said, but the different tobacco leaves from different countries will impart different flavors.
Sunshine content, water content, pH, the soils. To how it grows.
You might have a sun grown or a shade grown. You might have different soils, but it's only tobacco. So when you pair the two together, you have only grapes and only tobacco, and this has so much. The grapes have so much chocolate and leather in them, and so does the tobacco. It might have a little spice in it. So you pair the two together, it's unbelievable. It's such a great pairing. Same thing with coffee. It's just beans. Grappa? Yeah, I had grappa. I was in Italy. How did I not have grappa?
Talk about sweating, man.
Oh my God.
I sweat more with grappa than when I go into the infrared sauna. Forget about it.
I mean, as you guys can see, my partner here, he's an engineer by trade, so his brain is a wired engineer. So me, I'm like details, but his detail is like 100,000. He's got the memory of an elephant. We'll learn something, I'll be like, all right, I took away like one or two things, and he'll be like, no, I remember the whole thing. I'll be able to reiterate the whole thing. So I'm like, dude, how do you remember what the grape from the ground tastes like?
Can you count cards?
I can.
He's very good.
Like
We're going to Vegas in a couple of months. You want to join
Yeah, we
us?
may have to use our free rooms at Atlantic City.
Sounds like we're going to Vegas. Let's go, baby.
Well, it's actually funny that the time that we're filming this, there's the March Madness, the basketball tournament.
Did it start?
It starts tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah, they had the first 4. They start tomorrow, but I would go. Me and my buddy would go every single year for the first weekend, because this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's the entire first round, the entire second round. So there's like 60 something games, and we would go to Vegas every single year.
Oh, that's fun.
It was the first year that we're not going. Just didn't really work out, and we like to golf over there. And last time we golfed, it was fucking cold, and we're like, maybe we'll change it up. So I was telling him, I said, hey, instead of Vegas, maybe we just take a ride to like Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
That's a great spot.
Foxwoods.
But every time we go, we play blackjack and craps. So the two games that we play. So blackjack, you obviously,
blackjack.
we can count
I'm
cards.
noticing that you smoked that cigar, our cigar, right down to the stash.
I was just going to say.
The flavor is very consistent,
I was just going to say.
I will say.
And I do get that a lot from my clients,
Towards the end, it opened up.
And you could go right out to the mustache.
It opened up a lot.
I mean, you see. So
look at him.
I was just as he was going to be done saying something, I was going to say, I've been smoking this bad boy all the way to the nub.
Look at this.
And just like every person who owns a cigar brand, they want to make sure that the the draw, the foot. The draw is the most important part of the cigar. If you
100%.
can't
Yes,
draw,
100%.
it has been through and through from the first third to the second third.
And the
to
flavor
third.
doesn't really change much, but
and
it
it's been
does. You'll
consistent.
get some variations, but we're known for our cigars. People smoke them right down. I've had people that put the roach clip.
I was
in
ready to
there.
get the. I was ready to get the
No,
cigar.
it's-
poker.
that's
I started
important.
smoking with
But
the
I will
poker.
say that,
Yeah,
that the draw, one of the things when we started tasting our cigar, we came up with, he was talking about, engineering brain. Let's go with numbers.
There you
We
go.
came up with
now
there
I'm
you
one of
go.
now I'm one of the uppities in Nassau
There
County.
you
Here
go.
We can't even recognize that's a
I know.
San Giuseppe, but
I
that
might
is a
have
San
to.
Giuseppe.
We might have to crop this angle. I got to crop you out of that. With that.
What do you mean? You use this thing more than me. I use it because of you.
I would use 100%.
It's funny that you did that because I have a very dear friend, Bill Ragone. I don't know if you know him. He's the cigar advocate of New York. He's a cigar aficionado. And when I first started the business, I invited Bill up here when it was the Havana Club. I said, Bill, I want your opinion on my cigar because I blended this. I want you to taste it because I know your opinion means a lot. And he did the same thing. He was smoking and he was writing down the notes as he was going. And he was like, Joe, this is amazing. And he did the same thing. He popped out his roach clip.
listen.
I'm like, wow, you must like the cigar if you're smoking it that. He goes, yeah.
I'll
sure.
tell you this. I don't bring this bad boy out. I usually use it to open it up, but once in a while, I will take this.
Oh,
bad.
yeah. You
'Cause
could-
to be honest, I don't really like the way it look. I don't. I feel like Coelho de Ville or something like that.
Yeah,
from
but
like
it's still the flavor's still there. You almost
I
don't want
say
to let it
all
down.
the time. I tell people.
Look at that. Look at
People
all that. Look at
always
all that.
ask.
Come on.
It's funny. So being, you're kind of all of us. You go with your friends. You're like the cigar guy, right? You're the cigar guy, and they always ask, okay, when should I put out a cigar? I was like, you put the cigar out. There's two different things. You put the cigar out when you're done smoking it, when you don't enjoy it anymore.
You don't enjoy it.
Said, but what I like to do is smoke it as far down as you can until the smoke. When you get to a point where the smoke that you're
Getting in
pulling,
your eyes.
No,
it's too
until
hot.
It starts burning your mouth.
When you pull the smoke
Yeah,
in and
I
it's
feel
too hot for you to taste any flavors, the cigar's done. Said that could be 3 inches.
Some
That could be
cigars
half
are.
an inch. I've smoked cigars where I can't even hold
still
it. I'm
good.
smoking it like it's a joint. Like,
And you're still getting the flavor.
But I still get the
That's-
flavors.
That's what
and
separates
when
a good
you can
cigar
smoke
from
a cigar,
bad.
and I always think when you can
100%,
smoke a cigar down like this, it's constructed very well, because that means that the tobacco, that the blend, you don't have a heavy concentration.
area.
Thank
Yeah.
you. In certain parts of cigar, it's evenly blended around.
And
You'll have
don't-
different
And
flavors.
you don't get it to the back
We
of your
gotta
throat
get
is the
you
most
on the
important.
door.
That was another
All
thing
the
I wanted to
flavors
say.
staying on the front of your palate. There's different parts of your mouth.
I noticed
This wasn't a pepper bomb where I'm like,
I like
fuck.
and this is a blend. This is a blend.
That's my main, but that's my San Giuseppe. It's the first blend I ever made.
So what-
that we launched?
what,
Habano 2000 wrap.
Habano
Habano
2000.
2000 wrapper. What's the binder?
Ecuadorian binder.
Okay, and what's the blend?
We have a Pennsylvania broadleaf and Dominican fillers
Okay,
Beautiful.
okay.
Beautiful.
from our plantation.
I like it.
Beautiful.
So you
And we
said
do
Habano-
something
where's the-
special
where's
to
the
the
Habano
tobacco.
from?
I can't tell you. If I did, I have to shoot you.
Where's the
but I don't
Habano?
want to
Where's
do
the Habano from?
Habano 2000 from Ecuador. Right from my
So you
fiance's.
have Ecuador and then Ecuador binder.
But the Habano 2000 is a special.
yeah, but I'm saying so.
And an Ecuadorian binder from the same region.
So you got
just a-
4 different countries:
Gotcha.
Ecuador, American, and Dominican.
Pennsylvania broadleaf, which
Now
is
what-
that little.
What's your cigar?
Joe is a San Andres. They blended for him.
That's San Andreas wrapper.
It's correct.
That's the wrapper that's on our cigar. That's the
Sumatra
blueprint, right.
binder, and then we have some Dominican.
No
and
shit.
Yeah.
So our cigar, Mexican San Andreas wrapper, Ecuadorian Sumatra binder, same thing.
Nice.
But our blend is Dominican, Honduran, Nicaraguan, and American.
Perfect. You give it spice.
wow.
Got a
So
lot
it's a
of
little
spices
blend.
there.
And your blend is.
I'm looking forward to smoking
What was your
one.
blend?
Please let us know what you
Dominican.
think.
Dominican, Sumatra, Pennsylvania, Dominican interior, and it's a San Andres wrapper.
Mexican. Yeah.
Mex- That's a Mexican. San
Nice. So you
Andres.
got about 4 in there too. Now, so this is coming
But
out.
it's also a different gauge. So again,
Which changes.
I
yes.
can give you my
Yes.
recipe. Your factory will roll my recipe. Come out different.
Most
Well,
You gotta
that's a
remember,
good-
it's the
good
hand
point.
too. It's very important. People understand that. You can have 3 different manufacturers making the same cigar. If I don't age it a different time than you do, it's coming out different. So, and also that cigar might be sitting in the humidor for you. You'll have different flavor notes. So
the cigar
it's
And
there's
the
so
big
many
thing-
different variables.
Big thing to note there too is that you could have the same, and I say this a lot, and the people always ask, like, why do you know, because I enjoy Lanceros a lot. Lanceros
Lancero's
are
a nice
the
cigar,
long and
yeah.
skinny.
Usually-
My wife loves Lanceros.
Yep.
But I always say, listen, you can have the same exact blend, the same wrapper, same binder, same filler. You put it in a Lancero, which is a 7x46,
46, 47,
okay?
yeah, gauge.
You put it in a Churchill, a 7x50.
Different flavor, different
You
taste.
put it in a little bit of a lengthier Toro, which is like a 6.5x60. Same blend. It's going to taste 3 different ways.
And also, don't forget, if I V-cut it, punch cut it, or I
taste
guillotine
different.
cut it, it's a different flavor.
Because and they go,
So,
why is that? Why is
People
that?
don't
so?
realize.
And also, your
things that go
saliva is
into it.
different than my saliva is. So he's going to pick up different flavor notes than I pick up. So
You know what
there's
else
so many
changes it
different-
too? Depending on what you eat.
Of course, yeah.
What did you eat that day? Did
Or
you
what
just
you're
have
drinking.
Did you just have a steak?
Your
Well, it's going to
enzymes.
taste different than if you just had a chicken.
Correct.
Did
The
you just
enzymes
have a
in your
glass
mouth,
of
yeah.
wine or a bourbon or coffee? It's going to taste different.
Of course.
And I always say that the difference in the
Joe,
size.
you taking notes? You taking notes on this?
I'm picking up everything. I want to ask a question, actually. What is the best cut? Or is there a
Oh,
best cut?
okay.
Well,
Well,
I like
That's a
my
good
cut
question.
the way you do it, the V cut.
The V
That's
cut.
my
Me too.
preference. But what is the best cut?
So I will.
there's no
I will
answer.
say
There's no
this.
answer.
I will say this. I am very partial to the classic straight cut.
Okay.
And the reason why I think that the straight cut is the most. It's the universal cut, and it's the most.
You allow the most air to get into
Well,
the
I would
cigar,
say
too,
this.
when you
I would say you can straight cut any cigar, but you can't V cut any cigar.
That's true.
And what I mean by that is you
If the
can
gauge
straight.
is too thin,
If you have a
yeah.
Lancero, you can't
Yeah,
V cut a
can't be one
Lancero. There's
straight
not
cut.
enough to V cut.
Okay.
You can't punch cut a
Anything
Lancero,
50 and over, you can
right?
V-cut.
But you can straight cut anything.
50 gauge.
However,
Right.
I've kind of moved into. I've been doing a lot of V cuts lately. We came out with a V cutter for our show, and I've been doing a lot of V cuts. My wife loves the crown cut, which is a double V.
Double V.
You V cut one way, you turn it,
yeah,
V cut
yeah.
again.
Oh,
Allows
yeah.
a lot more
It's
air
like
to
Right.
get in.
Yeah.
But it's really I don't really like the
Personal
I don't like
preference.
the punch cuts. There's also a new one that's called the bowl cut or
Yeah.
the ball cut, where it's like pulls out a ball.
Pulls
Oh,
a
I've
ball.
seen that.
I'm more partial to the straighter the V, but it really kind
It's
of
also the pinhole cut. We have we have this guy that gave us. It's actually just punctures a couple of different
I
holes
had a
in
guy
there.
in my
It's
club
clean.
do that. He put this the thing that he
We
just
have it.
had.
We have them.
He put it through the whole cigar, pulled it out, and started smoking it.
Yeah.
because he's punching.
some people
through the
bite
body.
it, some people bite it.
You remember the
I
single
think it's
cap,
really
double cap,
I
triple
see people
cap?
do the there's I forgot the name of it, but it's like the spike. You know, there's like 4
Yeah,
different
it's like
That's what I
spikes.
was just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
We
They
have
do
that.
the
I was just saying,
sides,
it's a spike.
the sides.
It looks
the
like
top.
a golf tee.
Yes.
We have that. I do that sometimes. Depends again on a Gordo. I like that because it's a big tip, right? A double cap tip. And when you spike cut it, it allows the air to come in all different variations of the cigar.
Yeah.
So you get a different experience with it. But again, it's all personal preference.
Yeah.
It depends on the size, right? And it depends on the individual, and depends on the blend.
And I've tried all different ones. I've tried I've tried the same cigar, our blueprint. I've punched it. I've straight cut it. I've V cut it.
It's a
I've
very
crown
common
cut it. It's
question.
kinda
People
just
always
like-
ask.
Full body
Always
cigar, personally, if I'm going to smoke a full body like a Nicaraguan Maduro cigar, I would just put a punch cut because I don't want all of that coming in because it could be overpowering. Especially if it's a big gauge cigar. 58, 60 gauge. You're getting now. There's some guys that like that full body. I'm not a full body guy. I'm more medium to full. I like a Habano 2000. It's my go-to. That's why I blended my cigar that way.
Yeah, of
and I
course.
love the Habano. It's kind of like right in the middle, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not a great big Connecticut fan, but I do have a Connecticut coming out, which I blended. That it's in the works, and I do like it. It's a nice cigar. It's very creamy.
I
good
like
burn.
Connecticut's for. I'm a big golfer, and whenever I tee off like
Connecticut's,
early
yes.
in the morning,
Yeah, because you don't want it too much.
I love it. But I'll smoke. You know,
Come on,
I'll
coffee in
smoke,
Connecticut.
I'll smoke like 3 cigars on a golf course, but I'll start
I'll
with the.
smoke 7 when I go to the DR on one day.
I love it.
I'm
Love
literally in the morning. I'm smoking one. I'm in the car. I got one. When I get to the factory, I'm testing blends. I smoke 2 or 3. When I get home back, I go to dinner. I light one, and then right before I'm 6, 7.
Is that how you met your
Connecticut's-
fiance down?
No. I met my
She's
fiance.
Ecuadorian.
She's Ecuadorian and
But
Colombian. Actually.
the Connecticut, like bright and early, 7 a.m. I'm teeing off. You get a nice cup of coffee in a
creamy,
Connecticut.
light. Yeah.
There's nothing like when you smoke a cigar like on a golf tournament at 7 a.m. and people are looking at you like,
I do it every.
the fuck is this guy-
Fuck them.
Are you-
every
It's
time.
more common though, right? People
No, every
Oh,
time.
no.
Because the guy, listen,
people
the
look at
guys
you
I
like you have
golf
3
with-
heads. They're like, what the fuck?
The
I didn't
guys
have
I
my
golf
breakfast
with
yet.
are not like they're not big
The
cigar
early
smokers.
morning,
They like
yeah.
the occasion. I love teeing off in the morning because I'm like, listen, if I can tee off at 7 a.m.
and be done
and be done by noon, and then I have the whole rest of the day, right? I don't like teeing off at 11 o'clock in the morning because then I'm
Day's
done by
shot.
day shot.
100%.
So I like teeing off in the morning, and I don't care if it's 7 o'clock. It'll be 7:15. first tea, I got a cup of coffee and a cigar. They go, you really like a cigar? I said, yeah. Why? And I'll smoke 3 by
Like
the
Joe
time.
said, fuck you. Yeah, I am.
And they go, really? I said,
you don't
yeah.
like it, go fuck yourself. I don't mean to say it in the bed, but
No,
I'm not
no
throwing it in
disrespect.
your
Go
face.
fuck yourself.
Speaking about the DR, I just want to say real quick, you have special privileges in the DR.
I do,
Do you
yes.
share that or?
Yeah, I do. I got some
you
political
walk in the
connections.
DR and like,
you
all
can
right,
share
get
it
out of my
now,
way.
and then if we have to edit it out later,
All
we'll
right,
edit it.
yeah. Well, I got some political connections down there. They're really good people in the DR. I've been doing business down there for about 25 years. I was in the garment industry right out of high school. My father, our family was in the garment industry, garment district, downtown Manhattan, Midtown Manhattan, and we moved our factory and our plant down there in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I lived in the Dominican Republic from 99 to 2001. Wow. So I know their culture. I know the people. I know everything about them. So it's kind of like my second home. So when I go to the DR, I feel like I'm at home, kind of. I know the people.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do. I don't speak.
Like fluently? Or
I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Habla español?
Well,
Habla español muy poquito.
she speaks to me in the house, like everything. You want me to change your socks? Sí,
really? Okay.
Habla español, sí. Pero no mucho.
I speak enough to get me out of trouble. That's what I speak.
Yeah.
But she speaks to me literally in the house, everything.
Well,
so
that helps.
I have to understand because I'll say, what the fuck did you just say to me? Because she says it so fast sometimes.
When you're mad at him, right? Yeah. When
I might be in the car driving in from
PA.
PA to New York, and I'm like, all right, let's do a Spanish course, crash course. And she'll give, and I'll say the words, and I'll make sure, because it's a little different, because our language, in the English language, we say the THs. They don't have the J's.
The English language is fucking.
They're all hota.
Sometimes when we talk with our guy Blackbird from Jonas, he'll text us and he'll say things literally like how in Dominican, he's Dominican, and he's like, yo, what does he mean by that? I'm like, dude, it's just a language
it's a
barrier.
literal translation.
He's like, what does he mean by that? I'm
My
like,
favorite word is cabron. I know it's a bad word, but I say it in
It's funny. I used to work in a pizzeria, and I used to say bendejo all the time.
She says that to me 10 times a day.
It's a very derogative word, right? And
it means like asshole or ass. It's
right.
not
And
a bad word.
Or I would call some of the guys mariposa, which is
Mariposa.
Like, yeah. So,
but that could be homophobic. You have to be careful.
And oh my gosh, there was this one time I was, it was a busy day in a pizzeria. I'm younger. I'm like 16, 17 years old. And it's like, it's really busy, right? And I'm like, you gotta get the orders out. Come on, I'm waiting. Come on, what are you doing about mariposa? And he's like, you don't fucking call me that. He's like yelling at me, and I was like, well, get the food out quicker, and I won't call you that.
Maricon, mariposa.
It means butterfly.
But
mariposa, maricon, pato.
It means butterfly, but when you call a grown man a mariposa, you're basically calling him
very
a fag.
homophobic.
But I actually, it's fun learning, because I grew up learning. Not grew up, but in school I learned Spanish.
Yeah.
And then
when
I went to Italy, I started learning. Yeah, you don't learn those words. I learned those words in the pizzeria, right? I learned all those words. I learned a lot of the bad words, okay? But then when I started learning Italian, I realized that a lot of it's very similar.
So the Latin,
you just kind of have to, I had to learn how to switch the accent a little bit.
Correct. It also comes from the Latin language, obviously.
Yeah, and it's very similar. Like for instance, there is the one big thing would be in Spanish, if there's like a double L, it would be a Y.
Y, yo,
right?
yo.
But in Italian, the double L is they would tell you to bounce it. You have to say both. Like for yours, when you say it's Castellamare, right? You have to say Castellamare. Like you have to say the Castel. Lamar. You have to do like the bounce. Castellamare. Like it's a double L, whereas in Spanish you would say Y.
Joe.
And it's once you learn those little things, there are a lot of similarities between the two.
Well, now that we're on languages, how different is the German language from that Latin language?
That's
since you're German descent.
I'm a German. So the German language is very, very different. It's.
You speak German?
I don't. I speak very.
Couple of words.
I speak very little. My mother is fluent German.
Oh wow!
And there's a funny story where you were saying that you had to like learn Spanish because your wife speaks Spanish or your girlfriend speaks Spanish. Anybody need a drink?
Good. I'm good.
How long are we going? I don't even know where we're at.
We're about an hour and 40 in. But
that's it?
Yeah.
Hour and 40. I thought we were like 2.5.
I'm okay for now. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I'll do one of the what did I have? That monkey.
My cousin's a contractor on Long Island. My cousin's a contractor on Long Island,
Yeah.
and all his employees were all from Guatemala, Colombia. So when I was younger, I would work for him. I did like the bitch work. I would pay out the garbage, clean up this job site. So I would make, and I took Spanish for 5-6 years. So when I was around them, all the Spanish would kind of come back to me. But the workers they would call me gato viejo.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They would call gato guapo. They call me gato guapo, meaning
Cat.
the handsome cat. Handsome cat.
Yeah.
And then my
Guapo.
cousin would come around and be like gato viejo. Gato viejo. Gato. The dead cat. Because he's only like 15 years older than me, but he had like 4 kids. He was stressed, and he's like, gato viejo. No, gato viejo. No.
So I'll tell you the story. So my mother speaks fluent Bayerish, which is a dialect of German, just like in Italian you speak. Right.
Sicilian.
So it's a dialect, and
What's it called?
it's called Bayerish.
Irish.
It's from Bavaria. There's a region of Germany, Bavaria, and she's fluent. Right, my whole family is from Germany, and my mother speaks fluent Bayerish. So when she would go to Germany quite often, she was going 6-7 times a year because my grandmother, she's no longer with us, may she rest in peace, but when she was alive, my mother would go to Germany and visit like 6-7 times a year. She went so much that her passport, she needed an addendum in the passport because there was no more places to stamp. Like that's how much she would go. And she went one time when they were moving my mother from where she was living into assisted living. My mother went for 6 weeks, and my stepfather stayed home. My mother went, and my mother said that after about a week and a half, 2 weeks, from not speaking English, she just speaks German the whole time, that her brain switched into full German mode.
So she was thinking.
So she was thinking German.
Yeah.
She was dreaming in German, and she was no longer English. And the people there didn't know that she was American. They just assumed she was German. She comes back right after. Now it's 4 weeks more. She comes back, and it took like 2 weeks for her to switch back into English. And it was funny because she would be around the house, just like you were saying, like you'd learn Spanish because you're around the house, you'd be speaking or whatever, right? So she'd come back. Now it's like a week and a half until she switched back to English. But she would be doing something, and my stepfather would ask her, "Hey, where's the broom? I want to sweep something up in the man cave. I spilled some ashes or something." And she would say, "Oh, it's in the closet." And he'd go, "What?" She goes, "It's in the closet." And he's like, "Peg,
English.
English." She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "It's in the closet." He goes, "English." She's like, and she didn't realize that she was speaking it in German. That it just came out. It's in the closet in German. He goes, "I don't understand German. Speak English." She goes, "What are you talking about? I'm speaking. I'm telling you." And he goes, "You're still speaking German. Speak English." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And it was because her brain just completely flipped, and she goes, "It took like 2 weeks to get back into. All right, now I got to think English again. I got to speak English again." And she goes, "It was wild." She goes, "It wasn't intentional. It just happened."
You're fluent, right, Joe?
Yes.
You speak fluent.
So have you gone to Italy for an extended period of time that?
I was there. The longest time I was there was probably 95. I was there for 2 months, the whole summer.
Now, did you feel the same way? Like you just spoke Italian? That's it?
When I came back home, I was speaking the Italian like my parents were speaking.
And you were just thinking Italian?
My cousins were like, "Wow, you're speaking really good," because like you said, you're there for 2 months. You get
Were you like thinking Italian and everything? It was just I'm Italian.
Yeah. If you're there for a certain amount of time, if you're a place for a certain amount of time, you're speaking a different language.
Yeah.
You come back to you got to try to remember. Okay. I wasn't speaking English over there. I was speaking Italian.
All the time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about, so you're coming out with your cigar.
All right.
The Big Joe Gambino, the San Giuseppe cigar. Now, this is the first one. Do you have plans? I know this isn't released yet, but do you have plans that maybe I'm making another size? Maybe I'll make another blend? Like, are you thinking, what is it?
We're going to see how this goes first. I mean, obviously, we got to consult with them first, but if this takes off, maybe
we're gonna launch I always say, let's put the first one out.
Right.
Let's get good feedback, and like I said, I like to make different blends. So as the San Giuseppe line, we have our staple Habano 2000 wrapper with the Pennsylvania broadleaf, and we make it in several different sizes: Robusto, Torpedo, Toro, and we make a Gordo. And for Joe, we're going to make that San Andres because we don't have a San Andres wrapper. We don't have a San Andres wrapper. So Joe is going to be our San Andres wrapper for our line. It's going to be a San Giuseppe line. So
this is the first San Andres you're coming out.
Like
this is going to be. I'm very excited to try your cigar.
We do, but not in that size.
Larry
Walker
I'm very
is
particular in San Andreas wrapper. Okay. I mean, hence why the blueprint San Andreas.
Great tobacco.
I think the Mexican San Andreas wrapper is a great wrapper. Especially if you have like a little bit more of a medium body.
60% of the flavor.
It gives you a good, nice little sweetness on there. It rounds it out. So I'm very interested in trying.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. We'll give like Joe, he'll have the San Andres Gordo. We just launched the Larry Walker Hall of Fame Colorado Rocky. He has a San Andres, but it's in the Toro size.
You know, I can see you coming out with this. So you have the Big Joe Gambino. I can see you making the same cigar, but if you make a smaller size, you call it like the Little Joe.
Yeah, we'll do
it's like a little Joe.
We
got the Big Joe, which is like
we call it a Gordito.
It's a 6.5 by 60, but you make the Little Joe.
I'll do that. We'll cut it down.
Yeah, if you're a craps player, Little Joe from Kokomo is the 22. That's the 2-2. Little Joe from Kokomo. That's
just called the Gambino Gordito.
GG.
Double G.
I love it.
You know, and again, it's all about the.
There's a lot. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, so let me ask you this now, because we found this to be one of the most difficult parts of making a cigar. Naming it. Coming up with a name for a cigar. Now, granted, you had Big Joe Gambino already, so you're like, all right, San Giuseppe, Big Joe. A little
Big
bit
Joe Gambino edition.
Right, Big Joe Gambino edition. But we found that coming up with a name for the cigar, because it could be anything. Anything in English, and then take that and make it in Spanish as well. Take that, make it in Italian.
Like, well, we try to keep ours in Italian because obviously San Giuseppe is an
so
Italian.
Many different things you can call it.
You know, derivative Italian company.
A lot of people are calling different sizes thing. Like
we have a panini coming out soon. It's called the panini.
There's so many.
It's going to be like an efficiency cigar, great smoke. But it's going to be more for the price conscientious person, you know, maybe like retail $7, $6.
Yep.
Somebody that doesn't want to spend $15 on a cigar, we get that. You know, and
everybody being in New York,
which is very tough.
And we're going to call it the panini.
Our cigar the same way. We launched the cigar. We said, all right, we want it to be in between $10 and $15.
Very hard.
Like that's where we want it to be.
Problem in New York, it's hard because of the taxes.
So we release it. Comes out like $13, $13.10.
I call it the New York State Mafia
tax. Next thing you know, we go back into the lounge.
100%.
It's like $16.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Because they usually take, whatever they're buying it for, and they times it by 2.5.
And then, you want to hear this? 75% tobacco tax in New York.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
So if you buy a cigar...
We don't light another cigar? Let another cigar.
I'm going to light another one.
Come on, let's go.
We're coming up to the end here, and I want to light another one, and we'll just continue on. Maybe we'll get a drink
guys.
and some food and stuff.
Actually, we got Jose Reyes in there or no?
But
no.
The thing with the tobacco tax is
over there.
it's crazy in New York because we actually partnered with somebody in Arizona because in Arizona there's 0% tobacco tax. Right. So we partnered with somebody. It's Flying Cigars. Shout out to Flying Cigars. They it's 0% tobacco tax, but they also donate 10% of all of their revenue to armed forces, which we're a big supporter of. Okay, thank you very much for anybody who's been in the military or the police force or firefighters. Thank you for your service. So we partner with them, and it's great because whenever people come to our website, we say, "Come to our website. You can purchase our cigar. It'll redirect you to Flying Cigars. You don't have to pay tobacco tax. But if you get it in New York, it's 75%. So if you have a cigar that you make for $3." And then you retail it's wholesaled at $5. Okay, right. A lounge is going to buy it for $5. They have to automatically put 75% of the wholesale price.
Correct.
So
75% of $5 is what, $3.75? So now it goes to $8.75. And then they got to pump it up to if they want to make 100% on it. Now it's
guess who gets hurt? The consumer.
$17.50 cigar.
And then guess what happens now, right?
It's a cigar that costs you $3 to make, and you sell it for $17.
So now you're a cigar smoker, right?
Cigars,
and now you're smoking a cigar or maybe two a day, and you're not, maybe you don't have that financial means to buy and spend hundreds of.
You can't.
So now what happens? You go online, you buy them, you save all the sales tax, and then it hurts that cigar. That hurts that cigar lounge, which it's terrible. So they don't look at that whole dynamic of it. It's important that they got to keep the small guy the business, but they don't care.
And were you saying that's the Keystone? Or
Keystone is like you double it.
Double
Keystone
usually
is
they double it. They make 100%. You
And
buy
have-
it for 5,
again,
yourself a 10.
these guys got to keep their lights on. These, it's funny because we go to Florida and you see a lot of lounges like this. You can eat, you can smoke. They're making different sources of revenue. So their retail cigars is not their main thing. It's they're making money in the alcohol. So now these guys can survive.
I don't mean to cut you, but if you're in a place like this, right? You're in a members only lounge. You have to pay to be a member here. So you probably have a little bit more disposable income than the average American. So you're okay with spending.
But you'll be surprised what they sell their cigars here for. They don't, they pay their tax, but they're not making money. So they actually
they make
give
money
it to their
on
members. They lower the price so it's affordable. So you could come in here and buy a stick here and save a lot of money, but you're also paying for the membership fee. Yeah. You're also buying, they make other sources of income, so it helps the consumer, right?
Right.
So, again, Florida, Pennsylvania, big tobacco-friendly states.
You know what Texas did? Texas so they were forced to put a tobacco tax.
I think it's 10 cents.
It's a penny a cigar. Penny a cigar.
Yeah, they did very, very.
That's what I love about that. They go, oh, you're gonna force our hand. You're gonna make us do a tobacco tax. Here you go.
Well, when you
penny
buy
a
online,
cigar.
when you buy online, you're only paying the state sales tax.
Yeah.
You're not paying the tobacco because you're not a retail.
What's it in New York now?
75%.
from the lounge.
They wanted 130.
But I heard they're trying to fight that and
they
try
were
to keep
doing
it
130. There was lobbyists. That's when we had Joshua Habersky on. He was telling us that one of his jobs is to go around and make people aware that, listen, you're charging a tax. This is not. We're not the same as cigarettes. We're not the same as the non-premium machine made. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah, you're not in the same family. You can't tax it. Well, again, when we import our cigars from the Dominican Republic, we pay federal tax before it's landed.
Yeah, you got
when
it.
we clear our cigars, we pay. I think it's 52 cents.
42 cents.
42 cents
we
a
do
stick.
the same thing. We pay the same thing.
And then
import
that
fee.
goes.
Yep.
Now, if you're selling a rolled cigar or machine made, you're paying a percentage on the whole.
Yeah,
the price.
machine's not.
No, it's a different animal, But again, who does it hurt at the end of the
Hurts
day?
the consumer.
You like smoking cigars, you want to pay, it's got to be affordable for you. So
Hurts
now what
the
happens with the manufacturer? Let's think about it. So now me as a manufacturer, I got to make money. But I know if I sell my cigars in New York, that guy's going to sell my cigar for $21 when it's really worth $13 to $15 to be affordable for the consumer, right?
Yeah.
So what happens? The consumer's the only one's getting hurt. Now I got to drop my pants a little bit. The store has to drop. He's got to pay the lights. Everything goes up. It just doesn't make sense mathematically. So that's the problem.
It's tough. It's very tough. New York is not a good area.
You really can't use New York to actually set an example for cigars because it really does not reflect on what the true value is. Because a good cigar, a real good cigar should retail anywhere between $13 and $18 and anywhere around the country, right?
And especially
but over here you're paying $30.
Especially for people that are trying to enter into the market of cigars.
Yeah.
When you enter in, your cigar needs to be between that $10 to $15 range. Granted, you have a couple of cigars out, and they all retail between that 10 and 15, and you want to come out with a limited release, and it sells for 25. I get that, but you have an established brand already. You have a couple of cigars that are in that line, and you have the one-off, like, for instance, Padron, right? Padron's been around for decades,
Time, yeah.
And they have their 1,000 series that you can get for, 15, 12, 13, depending on where you are. And then they have their 1926 and 1964 that are 25, and then they have their number 90 and the 50th that are $50. Like, I get that,
Right.
but when you have an area, especially in New York, it's so difficult for people to try to enter the market.
Well, they've been
because
around
they can't
so
really
long
keep it under that.
They could absorb it.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's different.
Well, if you think about it, if you're in New York and you're going out to any decent establishment, you're paying $15 for a drink anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're going to pay $15, $20 for a cigar, it kind of goes by, it's kind of the same thing.
Is New York the highest, or is there?
One of top
California?
five.
Yeah.
We did a whole episode on just the cigar tax
Top
for
five,
the whole
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
And
New York and California do the highest.
just like everything else with New York.
The blue states.
Yeah,
But,
well, we don't want to get into politics.
So listen, so we're
over.
at about 2 hours,
Wow.
which is wild because the last time I looked at that it was 30 minutes. So we're coming up to the end of the episode. So what we like to do now is give you guys the red carpet to promote away. Okay, so tell us where people can find San Giuseppe's. Big Joe, where they can find you on social media. You're big on social media, and you got a couple things that you're acting in and stuff. So we'll kind of go around. We'll start with San Giuseppe's, and we'll move over to Big Joe, and tell the viewers, tell the listeners where they can find you, where they can buy your cigars, if they want to follow you. It's kind of your moment to really plug away.
Yeah, San Giuseppe Cigars.com, or we can make it simple, SGCigars.com. Goes directly to our website. Our distribution center is in Deerfield, Florida, which is humidified, temperature-controlled space. We import our cigars from Dominican Republic right into the distribution center. We also have several lines. We've been doing really well with the John Daly blend. We have a John Daly Lion, which is a Toro. We also make a short game, it's called. It's doing really well.
Yeah,
that box right there.
This is the John Daly
And John
one.
Daly's behind his brand. He's been on the Tucker Carlson show. He mentioned us there with Kid Rock smoking, and Tucker Carlson is a big fan of our cigar too. So
He's a cigar guy.
and also, Kid Rock's been smoking our cigars too because John's been giving it to him for free.
And if you want to use the code VIPSG, you get 10% off on the website.
There you go. VIPSG.
We also have Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Fame. These are all different blends, by the way. So it's not just the San Giuseppe blend is one blend. The John Daly is another blend. The Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Fame, is another blend. We just launched the Larry Walker. And then we have the Wade
Big
Boggs
Joe
coming out
coming.
and Big Joe Gambino. So
That's
we
it.
got several blends, San Andres, Habano wrapper, Cameroon wrapper from Africa, which is the Fergie Jenkins. Great
Love
smoke.
that. Love
Fergie's a
that.
big fan of him. Yeah.
Actually,
And
you got one right there.
You got one
This
right
one
there.
here,
Try
I love
it. Yeah,
that.
with the
I might
gold
smoke
label.
this next. I love
So
that. Cameroon's a very, very nice.
Tough to get.
We get a lot of good feedback. So we get clients now that we've been selling online, and they've been repeat ordering, and they actually send us messages all the time like, love your cigar, great stick, one of the best I smoked. We got a really good feedback. So again, it's about getting it out there to the masses and trying the cigar. Once that happens, you know what people, they like it, they order it. I mean, we're growing. We're a small company, we're new, but we're gaining a lot of traction. And Joe's cigar coming out soon. It's one of my favorites. I blended it. That San Andres wrapper, great smoke. If you want to sit down for 2 hours and smoke a cigar and have that flavor through and through, the transitions are great.
That might be my Gotham
Wait till you see
cigar.
the label,
man.
too.
Oh,
Label.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm looking
it's a
forward
great
to that,
cigar.
man.
Box is nice.
And
I
it
love
couldn't be for a nicer guy.
And when is that coming out, the Big Joe?
I would say within the next 90 days.
Yeah,
maybe.
3 months.
You know, fully have it on the website.
We're going
deliver
to
it right
do
to
Wade
your house.
Boggs. We're going to be launching Wade Boggs cigar also as well in this coming like late spring, early summer. And then also Larry Walker, we just launched his blend, but we're going on August 8th to Colorado Stavo.
Yeah.
And we're going to be with, Larry Walker in the booth. And then we're setting up a big launch party for him there. So we have a lot of good things coming up. John Daly events that we got. And it's just been
And you
all
can
good
find
stuff.
all this stuff on SGCigars.com.
Everything.
Everything
SGCigars.com.
there.
And VIPSG.
VIPSG will get you 10% off.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, Big Joe, where plug away, man. What do you got going on?
You just type in my name on your phone and
You're
it'll come
famous.
up.
You're famous now, man.
No, I'm not that
Humble
famous.
brag.
But obviously on Instagram, almost up to 300,000 followers and going.
You get 1,000 a day. I've been watching
Yeah,
you.
it's been nuts. It's been nuts. So you'll be able to find the cigars also on my website. They'll be directly linked to SG. And that's it.
You got any big? You got another season of Gravesend coming, right?
We got that going on. We have a movie with called Avenue U that's in the works. It's an actual movie. It's not a series. And there's a few other things lined up. Also getting into certain commercials that might
Kia.
be. It's not Kia is one of them.
Did they give you a car yet, or what?
Oh yeah, we're working on that. But we might even go above and beyond. We might be going to different dealers, not just Kia.
nice.
I like it.
Be like I don't know if you ever saw the commercial, the car concierge that I did.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be similar to that. I'll be going to different dealerships and looking at their automobiles, checking out what would be good for Big Joe, what would be good for this group, for that group, and we'll see how that goes.
You got a lot coming.
Yeah, so
I like it.
we'll keep them busy.
I love it, man. Well, listen, we appreciate you guys so much for coming us. We hope that you guys enjoyed.
Thank you for having us.
This episode. Of,
Thank you guys.
Joe and Jason are San Giuseppe's and Big Joe. You know him on Instagram. Okay, we really, really appreciate you guys setting this up. This was a wonderful conversation. We're about to light up some more cigars, maybe get another drink, maybe get some food. I'm freaking starving. I don't know about you guys, but we really do appreciate. I thought you were fasting, right?
I fasted.
He's like, my fast is over at 8 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock.
If you like this episode, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell on YouTube. And if you're listening, whatever platform you're on, just give us a share. Give them a follow. Give Big Joe a follow. We love you guys. We appreciate you. And Eric, send them off with the signature cheers.
Gents, where's my drink? Oh, she took my cup. I don't have I can't. I got seltzer. It's not water.
Not water.
But we like to say cheers, chin chin, and salud.
Salud,
Salud,
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
Salud.
Salud, guys.